Addiction is this. Addiction is doing whatever it takes to get high. Some call it being a functional addict. That means you're able to work a job and hold it down just long enough for you to get a check so that you can feed your addiction. Some people work to get high. I've had peers that I've known, and we would work, and I knew they were working to get high. This was after I got sober, but I had a partner I used to work with, and we would get up early. He would wake up before me, and he would have jobs lined up. And if not, we would go out there and canvas to do landscaping, yard work, just so we could get high. So we basically were working to get high, and we were working to get high and make it through the day. And we repeated this. I think about all the money we could have saved and did bigger business if we didn't spend money on getting high. We spent money every day, at least 100 a day easy on getting high. And it all depends on what your addiction is. Different highs, different levels, different money. So long story short is we would wake up early, like maybe 5:36 before the sun came up, and we would be ready to go out and cut people's yards. And my boss would get the contracts, and he would be talking with the customers, and I would be setting up the lawn equipment, and he would come out and be like, "Oh, we can do this right now. We can take a little break." It was either before we started a job, we would get high so we could work our way through it, and we would have what they call smoke breaks or whatever breaks, whatever you're doing, you will take a break. This is the life of a functional addict or addicts. If you're willing to work as a team to get high, that's addiction and that's a problem. So long story short is we would work for about 10, 15, 20 minutes, go hard, and then we would take a break because now the sun's coming up. It's getting hot outside. So we want to find us some shade and get high. So the people we had contracts with, they probably knew what we were doing. All they had to do was look out their window. And if you didn't hear the motors of the machines running, it would pique your curiosity. So they probably knew and saw us most of the time. But after we got high, we would hammer away back at the job. But we would get that job done and we get it done so good. And it's not how you do the job, it's how well you clean up afterwards. So I would make sure that I cleaned up. I was a good cleaner. Afterwards, I would clean up all the leaves, rake them in a bag, make sure we edged the lawn up real nice and straight and clean and smooth. We had blowers, we had whatever it took to make that yard look good. So the customer was satisfied with our landscaping. Now, this also tied over to working on cars. We could work on cars, but like I say, this is only one instant because I've worked by myself too. And at the end of my job or at the end of the day, I would celebrate and get high by myself. So I can't just blame it on anybody but myself. But I had a coworker and we just worked good as a team. So once again, we were getting high just to get by. And if it came to cars, we could change your brakes. We could fix your flat tires. We could do whatever it took to get money so we could get high. Now, you have different types of addicts. A lot of people notice people that panhandle out in front of the stores. You know, they're doing what they got to do to feed their addiction. I just was more in a uniform, suited up, so to speak, because carried myself in a decent manner, and that was my contract right there. And it didn't matter how I looked; it only mattered that I was getting money to feed my high. So I was what you call a functional addict as well. So, like I say, we would do good work to where the customers would come out and give us lemonade, cokes, water, whatever we needed, because we were establishing a relationship. And you're humble because you want that money overall, but at the same time, you want to keep that customer uh, worker relationship going. So you never have problems out of us unless somebody wasn't getting paid their fair share. Uh, or you have a problem if you're working with another addict, you feel like they're taking more of the drugs than they should give you. People fall out all the time. The addiction life is not a life, it's no kind of life, it's not living. And so when you find out that you don't need to get high and you've been sober, you actually step into a different world. Uh, you're living a life. You like to eat more. You start gaining more weight. Just your aura changes. People will tell you look like you put on more pounds. You look good. You look better. So I can attribute all of that to God, higher power, keeping me on the straight and narrow.